Welcome back to We Are Tottenham TV for your pre-match pump-up, and this week it is Hoffenheim versus Tottenham in the Europa League. Hope everyone's well. Can I ask, first of all, that you all smash a like on the video and make sure you do subscribe to all the lovely people on the panel as well. I'm joined today by Jimbo from The Perfect Match, Jose from El Tel Cocorel, and Mr. Chang from over at Spurs Diehards. Jimbo, first of all, how are you feeling in life and with Spurs in general?
Yeah, good all round. I think I better start with apologising to you.
Thank you. I didn't even need to ask at it, Kate, because we did actually
forget.
have we had someone say, Jim, we expect an apology to Kate. The streets don't forget.
Yeah, I apologise. I was
Thank
wrong. You was right.
As always.
It ain't the first time, and I know it ain't going to be the last. So I accept it. I just hope you accept my apology.
I accept it, Jimbo. Thank you very much. I would rather I was wrong, to be fair. But yes, Tottenham did exactly what I thought they'd do and lost to Everton. But anyway, moving on. Jose, how are you doing?
Yeah, I'm all good, Kate. Thank you very much, and welcome to everybody that's watching us at the moment. For me, for my sins, I love watching Tottenham, and I get up for every Tottenham match and love watching us play. I've learned to live with what is Tottenham Hotspur, but that has taken me 50 years to get here, though.
Yeah, it's not easy. So this is one of the hardest clubs in the world to support, I would think. But we will get on to the game shortly. Mr. Chang, finally, how are you?
A very good morning, everyone, from Southeast Asia. It's a midnight on a early Friday AM morning here in Southeast Asia. I am doing rather well, given the fact that this is the first time in a long while, ever since I got onto YouTube, in which I'm able to stream from the comforts of my own home rather than being away at the office or at the cyber cafe. And you know what? What can I say? I mean, yes, that defeat to Everton was a bit of a letdown, if I'm to be honest. But it's just yet another defeat in a long line of defeats under Big Ange by that single goal margin. And just when you thought it couldn't get any worse, we were then treated to news that Maddison might be out for the foreseeable future. But you know what? As long as we have 11 outfield players to put out against any team in whatever competition we find ourselves in, onwards and upwards. And I really couldn't care less, honestly, Miss Kate, of the players that take to the pitch, just so long as they show the same sort of spirit and fight that us fans put up with when we, face, any sort of negative feedback or that kind of just dealing with rival fans. We deal with it, but we move onwards. And I really do hope that the team, which will be announced in another 10, 15 minutes time, I hope that whichever players comes out, they really give it their all. But otherwise, cannot wait to get into this show, as always, with you, Miss Kate, Mr. Boxall, and Senor Garcia. Onwards and upwards.
Yes, indeed. A big up Samuel Lynch as well for being a member for 3 months. And please like, subscribe, and come on, you Spurs. Exactly that. I've been looking at some of the stats. I'm not a stats person, but I'm not also someone who watches Hoffenheim on a regular basis. They've not been massively impressive in Europe. They've only won 1 in 6 matches in the Europa League, drawing 3 and losing the other 2. And across all competitions, Hoffenheim have won just 1 of their previous 10 matches, drawing 3 and losing 6. But Tottenham, again, not been overly impressive in the Europa League. And across 18 matches, they've lost almost twice as much as they've won, winning 5, drawing 4, losing 9. The Premier League's looking less and less likely to provide any sort of joy for us this season. Jimbo, how important is it then that Ange gets some joy in not only the Europa League but all the cup competitions, because the league really is a washout this year?
Well, we're gonna struggle to get into Europe. We might get into the what's the cup, West Ham one?
Conference League.
Yeah, we might get into that if we're lucky. I mean, I can't even really see that happening at the minute. But yeah, the cups are important, and I think this one's really important, Kate, for us. So I really want to do well in this cup. I want to do well in all the cups. You know, look, I'm going to be honest, right? And it's not often you hear me say this. The way we're playing, it's going to be a struggle to go up to Liverpool and win. You know, I know we've only got to get a draw, but it's going to be a struggle because they're a force at home, aren't they? So really, this is just as important. You know, I'm not saying we can't go to Liverpool and get something out of the game, but the way we're playing at the minute and with the injuries we've got, it's going to be difficult. So this one is important. But to win a European Cup is always special. I mean, I'm lucky. I've been about to see it with Spurs. So, you know, to see it again before I pop off to the next world would be really nice. And this is a good chance, you know.
Yeah.
So let's fingers crossed that we can go there and do the business tonight.
Yeah, agreed. Jose, it's not only important for Ange to get a win tonight to alleviate the pressure that he's under, which, you know, there's no surprise he's under pressure because the results have been awful, but he needs to avoid going into the playoffs because the extra matches, what with us still being in the FA Cup and the EFL Cup and the Premier League, a fatigue squad, a squad down to the bare bones, he's going to want to win. They reckon that we need 4 points to guarantee getting in the top 8. But he's going to want to win both games. How important is it that we avoid these sort of playoff matches?
Right, so just to fill in a few people, Hoffenheim last year had a really good season. They exceeded what their expectations were, and they finished 7th in the league last season. But because of the coefficiency rankings, Italy and Germany were afforded 5 places in the Champions League. So finishing 7th in a normal season for them would have got them conference football last year. But because it was the first 5 and they finished 7th, they ended up, them and Frankfurt ended up going into the Europa League, and Heidenheim ended up going into the Conference League. Now, they over-exceeded last year by finishing 7th. Position-wise, they finished 7th on 46 points. But Leverkusen won the league on 90 points. So that's double the points. Now, they did that last season. However, Hoffenheim this season have been a bit like Tottenham in the sense that their results have been all over the place. And Hoffenheim now sit in 15th place in the league out of 18. So the bottom 2 get relegated in Germany. The team 3rd from bottom play in a playoff against the team that finishes 3rd in the 2nd division in Germany. So they're 1 place above it. So as you said earlier, Kate, you were talking about their last 10 games and whatever in the league, they've had a really bad season this season compared to last year, but they'd overachieved last year. So they're coming into this game a bit like Tottenham, but I don't think they've got the matter of injuries we've got, but positionally wise and the wins, losses, and draws and that, they're probably the Tottenham in Germany, so to speak. As for what you just asked me as well, look, tonight we've only got Romero's been left behind, so he's not fit. So you count him as one of the players not fit. Looking at the team that we've got, or looking at the players we've got tonight, we've got a lot of youngsters that are going to be in that squad. The team hasn't been selected yet, has it? It has.
It has.
Okay.
It has.
Right.
The team has just come out.
So this is the team. This is the team that a lot of people said it would be, right? And so apart from the 11 that you're looking at there, right, you've also got Mikey Moore. I'm not seeing the subject, but you're going to have Mikey Moore because he's one of the outfield players that would have been talked about. Look, we haven't even got that many people on the subs bench. Look.
No, we've got
Forster,
Whiteman, Hardy, Casanova, Ajayi, Oluwesi, Moore, and Lancashire.
So we've got 2 goalkeepers on the bench, and we haven't even filled out our bench because for this game, I think you can have up to like 11 substitutes. We haven't got 11 substitutes. So anyway, what I was going to say before knowing the lineup is that we go into this game, whatever 11 we put out, the 11 that we put out should be good enough anyway, in normal circumstances, to win a game of football.
Mm-hmm.
Now, it's interesting that the ultras from Hoffenheim last night were at the Tottenham Hotel at 2:00 this morning, letting off fireworks and making as much disruption as possible. And there were jokes going around that the Tottenham players pulled hamstrings getting out of bed to go to the window. That's what the jokes were saying online. So, but anyway, regardless of that, we do need to win a match of football. The important part of this is that if you get the required points to get you into the top 8, it does mean that you pay 2 games less, which could have a blessing in disguise, which could help Tottenham if we do this, because it then means it gives an opportunity for us to get players back fit and ready for the next round, for the round of 16, which probably takes place, I would have thought, the end of February, beginning of March. So it gives us an opportunity. So it is important. We currently sit on, I think, the people that are in 24th, last time I looked, they sit on 7 points or something. So 1 victory. So if we win tonight, that guarantees us being in the last 16, so to speak. Right?
Okay.
That'll guarantee us going into at least a playoff match if we win 1 game, right? Because nobody in the bottom 9 or whatever can then catch us. However, two victories guarantees us definite last 16 football without having to play bonus games. And then you don't have to rely on other people picking up points off each other, dropping off points and that. You win your games because the teams around you are playing each other as well. You win your games, you are through in the top 8. Simple as. That's a simple equation for today.
Yeah, 100%. Belgrade Wanderer says 14 players out, 8 players on the bench, 2 keepers and 6 kids. Don't think I've ever seen anything like this. I think that's a fair comment. Chang, what's your thoughts on the lineup and the bench and everything?
So I'm going to follow up whatever I said on Monday, immediately after that Everton loss on the perfect match post-match reaction, in which I mentioned that the one thing that really stood out for me, more so than us having Bergvall and Maddison and no recognizable white players in that starting 11, is Ben Davies. And I think it's no surprise that Ben Davies starts again today. I think it's going to be very interesting to see Ben Davies' starting position. Is he going to be a left centre back? Is he going to play? Will he be playing the left back in place of players like Region and Spence, who aren't even registered for this competition? So I think he might be the weak link. And I think it wouldn't surprise me if the players go down his flank and attack him, much the way We've seen Everton try and expose him, and I just hope he doesn't get in the way of Dragushin when they try and bomb forward. But otherwise, I think that it's a very, very strong lineup. And again, I think this is for the second competitive match in a row where we see both Bergvall and Maddison starting together. I just hope that if things don't turn out too well for us in this first half, we wouldn't have to wait for the last half an hour to see Mikey Moore. Because honestly, for me, apart from maybe Bergvall and Spence, I thought Mikey Moore was one of those other players who actually made a difference for us. And I was actually hoping for Mikey Moore to be starting this match, but great to see Richarlison get a start. And let's just hope that Richarlison himself is able to follow up from his his return to Goodison for the last time. And that bench that Tottenham for Life put up for us, Forster, Whiteman, Hardy, Casanova, Ajayi, always see Moore and Lancashire. I mean, you look at that bench and you just have to ask yourself, where are the players that actually game-changing players that can actually help us make a difference if and when they are called upon. Apart from Moore, I mean, we are really down to bare bones. And Big Ange wasn't kidding when he said that we only had 13 fit outfield players or 13 fit senior players to have to call upon. But that 11, I think, should be able to avoid defeat. Fingers crossed. I mean, we've seen Spurs pull out some real shockers this season. I really, really do hope we avoid another embarrassing defeat, because I think anything less than that would be, would just make this weekend's match at home against Leicester to be very toxic. And come what may, I still support the club. I support all the players, regardless if you're a senior, a junior, someone who's just only signed for us. And Austin, for Brendan Austin, great to see him regain his starting 11 since Antonin Kinski signed for us. Let's also hope that he is able to produce another man of the match winning performance, much like he did when he made his full senior debut for us against Newcastle. And I think he's gonna be a vital player for us later on this evening, Miss Kate. And absolutely cannot wait for kickoff to get underway. But at the same time, in the same spirit and the same token, cannot wait for the full-time whistle to go as well, because I just want this match to be over with, and I really do hope we do not pick up any more injuries that we can ill afford today, Miss Kate. Having said that, back to you.
So can I just add,
100%.
Chang, for you, Chang, you obviously haven't seen the Postecoglou press conference from yesterday. He did say in his press conference yesterday that Davis would play centre-back and Archie Gray would be left-back. He did say this in the press conference yesterday.
Yeah. Jimbo, Mikey Moore, when he came on against Everton, for me, was probably the shining light of the whole game. I thought he was the one bright spark. There were a couple, but he was my big spark when he came on. Do you think he's sitting there thinking, what have I got to do to get a start?
Is he on the bench, Kate?
Yeah, he's on the bench, but Son's clearly exhausted. I mean, what's your thoughts on Mikey Moore?
Well, he's look. There's not a lot of experience in that team, as in look, we've got Pedro, Dragusin. See, they're not greatly experienced, are they? Austin in goal, Davis, you've got experience. Gray, Bergville, Bentancur, you've got experience. Maybe once him out there for the experience, I don't know. You look, we know them. He's not playing fantastic, Sonny, but he can all of a sudden turn up. We know that, right? He's played in Germany, so I can understand why he's played Son, but he probably is sitting there thinking that. But look, he come on and he had a good cameo. Let's not get carried away. We got to see him in a few games to really judge him. He did do well when he come on, but he's a young kid going into a big European game. It doesn't surprise me he's left him out. So that's, for me, that's a team that can beat them. But I'm not gonna say too much, because I always seem to be put in the mud when I say too much. I'm backing them to win, definitely.
Jose did mention Son there. He's not had a great season so far. He's got 8 goals in 23 appearances, being outscored by Brennan, Solanke and Kulu. However, he has been averaging more shots per 90 minutes than any player bar Brennan Johnson. And he's also landed at least 1 shot on target in the last 12 of his 14 starts for Spurs. Is this the game where he's going to kickstart his season? Because there's a lot of talk about him being finished. There's a lot of talk about how we shouldn't have extended his contract. What's your thoughts on Sonny?
It's all right having the shots, and it's good that you're still getting chances to get your shots off. But at the end of the day, the name of the game up there is hitting the onion bag, innit? The ball's got to hit the back of that net, and that's what counts into many people's eyes.
Yeah.
You know, for us and for anybody watching, the only way that you win a game of football is by outscoring the other team. So if you're having shots and you're not putting them in the onion bag, then you're not going to win games. So I suppose people with their own eyes, look, there's different ways of viewing this. People have got their own opinions on Sonny. My eyes, although they are frail as I'm getting older and I have to wear glasses and I even struggle at times with the glasses I wear, probably because I probably need a further eye test. But even from that, looking at the games that I can see that Sonny's not the same player he was 4 years ago. And that's just my opinion. He's not. Whether it's because of age or whether it's been playing in different positions, either way, he just doesn't look the same player to me. But you get these people, your forward players. So when you're going to talk about the likes of Sonny, you're going to talk about Richie, you talk about Johnson. When you talk about Solanke, when you talk about these players, you're going to base this on they're your forwards and how many goals they get. That's how you're going to base it. It's the same as you look at any other team. It doesn't matter what team you look at, you're going to base it on how many goals have they scored, because that's their job. Their job in the team, they're not there to defend corners, you know. They're not there to defend against attackers. They're there to score goals and to attack for your team. So everyone's going to look at the goals. And, you know, if there are people, and there might be a couple of people in front of, because Richarlison's not in front of Sonny, but the other two might be in front on goals. And that's how people are going to judge it, on the amount of goals you score. Now, Sonny's probably played more than most of our other attackers, because we're flogging horses. We flogged Son, we flogged Solanke, we flogged Kulu, we flogged Porro. I mean, these people need a rest big time. And we keep flogging them and flogging them. So, you know, we need to see what will happen. But this team, and we say this all the time when we're on the Pump Up show, and we're not wrong in what we say. We just can't get inside their heads. This team, football's never played on paper, but this team is good enough to win a game of football. When you look at the 11 that you've got on the pitch, it's good enough to go and win a game of football. What I will say, I can see people saying in the comments, there's not much off the bench. I'm going to cast my mind back to pre-season, right? And I know pre-season ain't the same thing as playing a Premiership game, and it ain't the same as playing in Europe. But in pre-season, we were all gassing up our youngsters, because our youngsters looked like they were full of energy and that they wanted to play the system that Ange prefers, the attacking style of play, with no fear. And they did this in pre-season. And the majority of them teams that we saw play were youngsters. Got a load of youngsters there on the bench, and a lot of youngsters on the bench are well touted and well talked about that we are yet to see in the first team flesh. So the one that springs to mind straight away is Oluwasi. Oluwasi is meant to be, they say he's got a bright future. He's in England same England unders as Mikey Moore, so he's the same age group as Mikey Moore. You've got Ajay, who people have gassed up and said he's a good player as well. So tonight I've got no doubts that Moore will probably get on the pitch. Lancashire, we've not seen enough of, will probably get on the pitch as replacement players. But I wouldn't be surprised if Oluwasi gets a run out, and maybe Ajay, and maybe one other. I wouldn't be surprised if we do make 5 subs today, because what we've got to remember is we've got 11 players on the pitch today here. You've got the only 2 viable players that can come into this side would probably be, for me, Jed Spence and Reguilon, who are not in the European squad. So they're the 2 likely players that could come in for the game against Leicester, right? Other than that, you've got no other players that are going to come in to affect the first team. So for me, playing every 3 days, and I know there's only a few clubs, there's only 2 teams in the league that have got to do that at the moment. That's us and Liverpool, because no one else is involved in 4 competitions. So we've got to do that every 3 day malarkey. And playing against Leicester on Sunday, it means that we're going to have to make substitutions tonight, because otherwise these players, you're just passing it from bad to worse, where we're flogging the players and we're not giving them a rest that they need. And we're going to expect the majority of the bulk of these players to get up and go again on Sunday. Well, I'm afraid to say tonight, Ange, you're going to have to make some substitutions. But I'm hoping the substitutions are made, and like we all do on this panel, and like we all do in the chat, because we all want to see Tottenham win, I'm hoping that we are in the lead and that we are able to then make them changes and not let it affect us and not let it affect the result.
It'd be nice to see some of the youngsters get on the pitch as well, see what they can do. It's no good just keep putting them on the bench. We need to see them on the pitch. See, personally, right, I would have started Lancashire tonight. I would have given him a go out. Instead of
who, Jim? Instead of Sonny?
Instead of Sonny.
Or Kulusevski?
No, I would have put him there instead of Sonny.
And Mikey Moore could have started as well. So then Kulusevski gets his rest, and so does Sonny.
Yeah.
Do you see what I mean?
Yeah.
It's about some of these players. They're two of the players that I said. There's 4 players that have been flogged in this team, and that's Pedro Porro, Kulu, Sonny.
I don't think Sonny has host, because he takes him off a lot. So I don't think
he's 32, and you can see he's knackered.
But I think he's flogged for the amount of time he's played, Jim. He can't last the 90 minutes, so he's flogged after 60, 65.
Yeah.
But he continuously plays 60, 65 every game, because that seems to be his limit at the moment, so to speak.
Yeah.
But yeah, come on, let's get the win, lads. Come on.
Yeah, exactly. There's 608 people in, only 84 likes, which is totally unacceptable. Just going off a question that was asked to me, what I think of Timo Werner. I've tried everything to stay positive about this guy. I really have. And I think at times he's used as a bit of a scapegoat, because there's times he's come on and done some good crosses. But for me, if Tottenham are looking to progress, then players like Timo Werner are not good enough. I'm not putting it all on him, but I just think it's time for him to go now. I don't think he's good enough. But he's out tonight as well. Another one who's injured. And as we were saying before the show, Chang, Papa Mate Sarr's pulled up in training. There's rumours that it's a calf and it's not that serious and it could be back the weekend. There's also rumours circulating that it's another player with a hamstring. How concerning is it that we have got all these players that are literally dropping like flies with hamstring? And is it something to do with Ange's training stroke system, do you think?
So this is a bit of a lot of this is now speculation and guesswork rather than actual facts and details coming out from the medical department and from Big Ange himself, or even from club officials in the form of club statements. But I will say this about our so-called official correspondents and our journalists in the media. If some of them are actually attributing a lot of these injuries and these niggles and the concerns to our players, to the system, the training regime, or even the sort of system that they have to play in. I mean, there has to come to a point where Big Ange himself has to openly come out and address this, whether it's in the form of telling all of us that, you know what, injuries and sort of things are part and parcel of the game, and as professionals, you then have the option to either just deal with it and get on with the game, or get on with your career as far as dealing these sort of things in real time. But there's also the other aspect where you just have to ask yourself that with this sort of unprecedented levels of injuries coming thick and fast, that yes, you sort of have to just admit to yourself, whether you like it or not, that no one, regardless whether you are professional or not, when you are being put through such a system, then I think it's only a matter of time before you see these sort of things happen to us. And now I think we are seeing the ill effects that Big Ange himself has put the players through. But other than that, I think there's also another aspect of me that wants to think that if we had sufficient squad depth, and this squad depth is able to then, as what Jose said earlier, to be able to challenge on all fronts and actually yield results, not just putting out a starting 11 for the sake of putting out a team to get over the 90 minutes, but for actually putting a proper team out and actually, having a chance of winning. I think that the club themselves, or in this case our board, they have a responsibility of providing players for the coaching staff to pick upon, to choose from, whereby you could say that the players at our disposal are able to get a result. And I think that this is in part also down to the board. So I think it's a little bit of everything to answer your question there, Ms. Kate. But if Big Ange's tactics and his training regime is the root cause of all this, then he himself has to take a good hard look at what he's putting his players through and maybe dial it down a little. I'm not saying forego it completely or to make do without his training schedule entirely, but just tone it down a little, sort of protect the players a little. And let's just get the players back first. Get our players on the treatment table back into the squad and manage it from there. Because at the rate that we are dropping, first it was Solanke, now we are seeing Pepe Matasar. For all you know, we might be even missing another player or two after tonight. So I really hope that before the end of this January transfer window that ends in about a week's time from today, we get another signing or two through this window to help bolster the squad, because with this many games coming thick and fast, I doubt it we can even last beyond February at this rate.
Yeah.
And the transfer window doesn't close till Monday the 3rd of February. So it's open for a further 11 days.
Yeah. Big up DJ Samuel, member for 31 months. What a legend. I hope things are getting better with you. I know you've had some stuff going on, but sending you lots of love. Pickleball Jeff says, have you guys been on the training ground and witnessed the training practices that could create these injuries? Please stop making things up, trying to find excuses, and stick with Ange and enjoy the football. No one's made it up. I haven't said it's factual. I just said, do you think? Because it's being chatted about in the media and it's purely our opinion.
Can I say something about that?
Of course you can.
I agree with this guy. I said it on your channel, Kate, that everybody's jumping the gun saying that the injuries is due to the training and the way we play. You know, every team runs a lot in a game of football, right? So it's nothing unusual. I think a lot of it's got to do with now that we're getting more injuries than we used to get. Because look, Bournemouth have got loads of injuries. Newcastle have got loads of injuries. City have got injuries. Arsenal have got injuries. I think it's to do with how many games they play now. You know, I think that's got a lot to do with it. And I can't have it that I've seen people saying all the injuries are down to Ange. And I said this the other day. I won't have that. I won't. I mean, I watch a lot of their training sessions, you know, and I can't see how. It's not like they're being pushed to the limit in training. You know, all the ones I watch, they're always having fun when they're training, always laughing and joking. So I can't have it. It's all down to that. Maybe you will get injuries in training. I mean, every club does. But to say that we're dropping like flies because of the way Ange trains them, I can't have that. So I agree with that gentleman, whoever he was.
But yeah, Jimbo, I wasn't saying that it's fact. I was asking the question.
Yeah, I know that.
Purely because what you've got to remember as well is the same thing happened at Celtic. Bless you, Chang. So there could be some sort of correlation between the two.
But the Scottish League actually played more games than us, Kate.
Yeah. Well, this is what this guy's saying here. It's a combination of the number of games and the intensity of the training. Oscar says that Alistair Gold has said the training is really light and they are doing more resetting than training. So saying injuries are due to training is absurd. Just a false narrative put by Ange out as
I think he meant
I
think he meant resting, and the reason he says that it's resting rather than resetting is that because we play. No, he said resetting, but I think he meant resting is what I think he meant. And the reason for that is because you're playing a game every 3 days, you can't have training. You can't train. You're gonna have to. There's gonna be more rest than what there actually is. That's why people talk about pre-season, because the bulk of your training is done in pre-season. That's where you build up, and then after that, you build up with match fitness, so to speak. For those people that are going to be involved in and around the first team and will be playing or likely to play football, they'll probably do a slightly bit more training than those that may not be involved in a game day squad or stuff like that. So, like that, you keep people fit, trim, and lean. To me, I will say to people, I don't believe in it's Postecoglou's fault, because I said this the other day and I repeat it again. For those that have not heard me say it yet, if you go back to football 10 years ago, there wasn't the amount of injuries in each squad, right, that there is at the moment. Every team is suffering with injuries, and far more injuries than what they had 10 years ago. It's unheard of to have 10 players out, double-digit figures, players out of your squad at any one time. This has happened to loads of clubs. It happened last season, it's happening this season, and this has all happened, like I said, in the last 10 years. There's no coincidence that the football calendar is completely chocker with matches every 3 days. And when you think you've got a week off, you've got to go and play international games. When you think you've got a week off, you've got to go and play friendlies. When you think you've got a week off, though, another cup or another game will be created. We're just playing football saturated. We're playing football non-stop, and every team is suffering from this. It's not just Tottenham Hotspur. The only thing is that we haven't had the rub of the green this year, and we've ended up with more injuries than anybody else this year. But everybody's had it. I mean, you look around in the league, but you never saw this 10 years ago, this amount of injuries. Also, 10 years ago, who ever heard of ACL? Whoever heard of these hamstring injuries putting you out for 3 to 4 months? These were unheard of back then. And we've got further science and medical methods now to help bring you back fitter and better and quicker than what they had many, many moons ago. But they weren't playing the amount of matches that they were many moons ago as what they are now. So to me, it's a hybrid of a lot of different things that have caused the injuries, not only to Tottenham, to every club.
Yeah, and Jose, I will say one thing. I remember when Beckham broke his metatarsal, my granddad went on a rant, God bless him, saying the football boots that they use these days don't provide enough support for their ankles and their feet. He used to go to me, they're like wafer thin. It's ridiculous. So there is lots of factors. I had to just literally put it out there as a talking point because it is in the press a lot at the minute. And I'm not literally saying that it's fact. I was just putting it out there. Chang, obviously we've lost Solanke, who for me is such a massive loss, not just because of his goal scoring, because he hasn't scored that many, but everything else he does. Are you confident Richie can step up? No, he's not the most prolific scorer, but he has stepped up at times when we've needed him to, and we need him now.
Sorry, Chang, can I just ask Kate a question? You obviously don't want to scream Timo Werner's the GOAT.
No, I don't. I do not want to scream that. It might get clipped.
Not for the added benefit that someone's going to put a $20 super chat for that. Okay, all right, that's fine. You have your principles, and I admire you for that. But to answer your question, Ms. Kate, I mean, we did see Richarlison try to affect proceedings when he came on for us against Everton after the halftime break, and he was rewarded with a goal, and I do hope that he can follow up that again today with his second goal in this Europa League competition, because I don't think that we can afford players to be passengers in this team, especially with the lack of available players to really call upon. So for me, Richarlison has no other choice really than to play out his skin, even if it does run the risk of straining whatever that he was struggling with or carrying into this game. But I mean, there are two ways of looking at this. Either the players just put up enough to be considered for the next game, or they really try and go all out and win a game of football and run that risk of, like I said earlier, picking up more injuries than is required. But I think the players and this one has got to go back to Big Ange. Both the players and our coaching staff have their own parts to play in this, in managing themselves, but at the same time also being able to put up enough of an effort to be counted and to help us get over this difficult period. I think for Richarlison, he should know better than anyone with the injuries that he has struggled, to not push his limits, to not push him to the extent where he aggravates something else and rules himself out for the next game. So for me, there is that fine line of going all out and getting nothing, or rather not being able to produce anything, and also at the same time pick up injuries. And there's also that other fine line of doing just about enough to keep yourself away from the operating table. I would leave it down to the players themselves, honestly, as to how much they should, put themselves out there for us. But in all honesty, I also do hope that Richarlison is able to pick up from where he left off last season, when he went on that purple stretch. He had that goal scoring run, something like 11 or 12 goals, I think it was, in the league and all competitions. So yeah, this is going to be a very, very big second half of the season for Richarlison and a lot of our other remaining players. And I really do hope, for their sakes and ours, Miss Kate, that they do step up big time.
Yeah, exactly. I agree. Jimbo, you're quite I wouldn't say you're a lover of Richarlison, but you quite like Richarlison.
Yeah.
I like some of his play. I do like his, excuse my French, shithousery. Do you think there's a chance he's going to step up and start scoring for Spurs without getting injured, or what's your thoughts on Richie?
Well, I like Richie because he brings a bit of grit to it. He gets stuck in, and I think we need that in this team. Yeah, I mean, he can step up. We've seen that when he had a run before. He scored, I think it was 12 goals, 11 or 12 goals. He had a run. So, yeah, he can step up. Of course he can. I mean, well, we haven't got much choice anyway, have we? So, we've got to stick him in there. It was either him or Lancashire, or him and Lancashire and Son on the bench. So, but I would have put Son on the bench. I'll tell you why, because when we bought Son on a couple of times before as a sub, he done really well. So I like Richie. I think that he brings something different, and he had his cameo the other day and scored. So yeah, I think he can bring something. Well, we need him, that's for sure.
We do. We need the likes of Richarlison, Sonny, the senior players, even sort of Maddison to step up. He's coming for a lot of criticism. Jose as well. Madders. A lot of people saying all he does is roll around on the floor, holding his ankle and trying to get a free kick. We all know what he can do. I don't think he gets on with Ange. I don't think Maddison buys into Ange, and I don't think Ange particularly likes Maddison. That's my view. I'm not saying it's true before anyone tells me I'm making stuff up. That's my opinion. Do you think there's any truth in that, Jose, or do you think he's still finding his feet? What's your thoughts on Madders? I know he is our most creative player this season.
First of all, I'd like to say, excuse my Danish, I'm looking forward to Richie's shithousery. I had to pick a different language, for shithousery can be any language you speak. Shithousery is the word. So I had to say it in Danish, shithousery. You said it in French, I said it in Danish. It's still the same thing. We're looking forward to Richie's shithousery. With Maddison, it's a weird one, Kate, because Maddison was bought when Ange came. So, and he was what we all deemed to be the lock picker. Maddison has pretty much been the same player he was at Leicester, whereby it seems to be, now I ain't got the stats, but it seems to be He plays well for a third of the season. He goes missing for a third of the season, and he's injured for a third of the season. So we haven't really seen a whole season, a run of Maddison playing all the games. It's weird because on the eye you see Maddison get the ball, you see him do his feints and his turns and stuff like that. Short passing, he does, within 10 yards to short passing. You see all that, and on the eye you're always thinking to yourself, "All right, come on, mate, do a little bit more." But when you look at the stats for him, his stats are really good. They're probably one of the best in the team for goals and assists. So he's doing it. And he is doing it, and the numbers are there to say that he's doing it.
Mm-hmm.
But on the eye, you just don't see that he's done that. You just, every time he gets the ball, my expectation and possibly some others is, come on, mate, do something with it. Come on, let's, a lot of the time, he plays, and we play a system, or he plays within a system that we have a lot of congested areas in there. But to me, if people say, yeah, but it's because we invert and we congest areas and stuff like that, all I've got to say to that is, listen, there are footballers out there that are left and right footed that can waltz in and out of a shopping mall, so to speak. So that's crowded. So there's players that can get in and out of people walking down Oxford Street with a football that can twist in and out. And, I expect him to do a little bit more. There are other players that play in similar positions to him that, you could say the pitch is congested, and they managed to do it. So I think some of it's a bit harsh. I do expect every time I watch him with my eyes, I expect, go on, mate, do this, do that. But it's being a bit harsh because the stats will show you quite clearly that I don't even know what he's on at the moment, but he's on double figures for goals and assists. So he's definitely there. Do you know what I mean? So if Maddison plays well, Tottenham play well.
Yeah.
It's as simple as that. Maddison plays well, then Tottenham have played well. But what you want to see is Tottenham play well, and not just Maddison. You want to see all of the players play well. Instead of having 2 or 3 players turn up and you say, well, today these played really well, but these lot didn't, and we hardly noticed them, then that's not really a team effort. I want to see a consistent team effort where everybody turns up, because if that happens, Tottenham win, and it doesn't matter who you put in front of them. If the team turns up, we win the game.
Yep, I agree. 159 likes, 730 watching. We're coming to the end of the show. Please do smash a like and tell us in the comments who is going to score for Tottenham, assuming you think Tottenham are going to score, and what is the final result going to be. The watch along starts at 5:30, and I think tonight is Iggy and Nick / Barrison Royale / Emerson Royale fan club / whatever his name is tonight. But big up Moondog coming in with a £2 super chat saying, come on you Spurs, let's do this tonight. Yes, indeed. Chang, I'm going to come to you first, ask you what the score is going to be tonight and who's going to score the goals, please.
You know what? I think I am going to back us to get a clean sheet, however unlikely it may be, just so it can boost our fledgling defensive lineup, our defensive back four, and also that of Brennan Austin, because we need some form of confidence. Even if the game ends in a 0-0, I think us getting a clean sheet more so than us scoring is going to be what propels us to get through over this tough period. So I will predict us to get a clean sheet, hopefully, against Hoffenheim. I know our away form hasn't been the best, and you just have to look at that centre back pairing of Davis and Dragoshin to know where we stand defensively. But I'm going to predict that we will get a clean sheet today. I'm also predicting us to score 2, if not 1. I would love us to get 2, but I think 1 is the bare minimum for us. So I am going to be predicting Richarlison to be scoring in his second consecutive competitive match, and either one of Maddison, Bergvall, or Son to score would be the icing on the cake for me. So I will be predicting a 2-0 away win for our players, and hopefully then we can translate that to a comeback, our first ever league win this Sunday at home against Leicester City.
Yes. Bill going 3-2 Hoffenheim. Wow. 1-1 or lose 1-0. Daniel Levy, big up Daniel Levy. Can you please get your money out? Signings are coming. I'm in Rio's favelas, signing some top 15-year-old potential on $62 a week. Audio Respacier says Moore will get his first goal today. Just Harmless Potato said Hoffenheim play high intensity pressing. Yeah, it's going to be end to end without any shadow, and that's why I think we could see some of the best from Sonny tonight. Hopefully, would love to see Bergvall get a goal tonight. He's been working his Swedish tail off for us and has been the better player for most recent games. Says Lisa. Colin Cross picked a 0-0 and says, don't pick Kate, you had it right Sunday. And did Jim apologise? Yes, he did apologise. He's never right. I don't know why he even argues with me. He should just put his hands up every time and go, you're right, wifey. That's it. 1-1 plus pens. There's no pens tonight, I don't believe. 3-0 win, clean sheet. Come on, you Spurs. I think Richie and Decky score. Jose, what do you fancy tonight?
Right, Jose's going away from the normal predictions that Jose does, because Jose loves a clean sheet and always predicts with a clean sheet. So I'm hoping reverse psychology will work tonight. And if I don't predict the clean sheet, we'll get one. So for tonight, that team is good enough. And we knew what the lineup was going to be, more or less, apart from one player. It was whether you stuck Mikey Moore in there or not. They haven't. They've put him on a suspect. So you knew what kind of lineup was going to get. The difference that we're going to get tonight in Europe is that when we've changed the side up before, we changed the side up and it's not exactly done well for us. The thing about the side tonight is this side hasn't been changed because it's all we've got left and it's all we've been playing with. So, so we haven't got that. So tonight, I'm going to go for Tottenham to win by 2-1. And I'm going to give them a goal because I'm doing reverse psychology because I love a clean sheet. So I'm going to say 2-1 and I'm going to say Richarlison gets both goals. However, with me saying that, I would love us to go and thump them 5 or 6-0 just to bloody get a win because we need, more than anything, we need to start getting W's against our name, regardless of the competition. And we need to start getting the run going. So league, cups, whatever you're playing in, get the run going of winning games. So I would love us to win. I would love us to win 5 or 6-0 and see Archie Gray on the score sheet. I'd love to see Lucas Bergvall on the score sheet. Mikey Moore, Lancashire, Oloasi who comes off the bench. I'd like to see anybody and all the youngsters score goals. But I just want to win. So I'm going Tottenham, Hoffenheim 1, Tottenham 2. Get me 3 points, Tottenham. Let's go.
Yes, I'll take that all day long, Jose, to be fair. None of your business, says Jose, you're damn right. We need that now more than ever. And we also need no injuries. We cannot possibly afford any more injuries or Angel have to put his boots on. I am going for, again, I hope I'm wrong, but I'm going for a 1-1 draw. I've been saying it all week. Nothing on that team sheet's made me feel any different. I just literally don't know where the next win's coming from with Spurs at the minute. So I pump you all up and then I deflate you all. But then Jimbo will pump you all back up. So don't worry. But I'm going for a 1-0 and I'm going to go Kulu to get the goal for Tottenham. And Jimbo, come on then. What's it going to be? 6-0? What are you saying?
4-0. We're going to come back with a bang tonight. It's going to be 4-0.
What's Hoffenheim?
No, excuse me. Right, I like. We got Gray back in the left back position. Davis is back. He's done well for us in Europe. Yes, 4-0. We're going to come back with a bang tonight and put some smile on some fans' faces that have been doom and gloom, which is most of us. Which is most of us. So 4-0. Come on, you Spurs.
And who's going to score, Jimbo?
I think Richie's going to get 2. I think what's his name? Sonny will get a top corner, cut in straight in the top corner. He's had a few pops at it and been close. And Kulu to get one of his dribbles and in. Come on, Tottenham. 4-0.
Chan, have you worked in theatre before? Because the curtain comes down, the curtain goes up, you've got a different kit on.
Yes, go on, Chang.
Sorry, because this is the first time in a long while since I've been streaming from home, so I'm just trying to get some sort of a color combination going with my backdrop and my jerseys. But yeah, I mean, not to make myself look like a clown, but I think we need a change. And for far too long, I think I've been using the same old jersey, or whether it's here on the pre-match pump up or we over on the perfect match. So I thought I might just try and chop and change. Hopefully, that's what Big Ange himself is tinkering with. And yeah, I really do hope that a change in a kit for me brings us a change in fortunes as well.
Right, we have gone a little couple of minutes over, but Chang, I'm just going to give you a chance to quickly tell us where you'll be and what's going on with your channel, etc., before we finish off.
So, assuming that I'm able to rush back, or rather to rush over to the office immediately after the final whistle, sometime around 4 a.m. this morning. Hopefully, I will be back on the Spurs Diehards post-match review after the game, and between that and tomorrow, I think we should be on again. Escape tomorrow at noon on Friday.
We will be on, but it might be a little bit later than noon. It might be either 12:30 or 1. I'm not sure yet. I've got to let you know.
I'm all up for it, whether it's 12:30 noon or 1 p.m. or 1:30 p.m. I should be up for it. And assuming that the invitation sent to me yesterday is still on, I should be able to be appearing again over on Premier League Fan Zone, over on Sky, at the same 2:30 p.m. to 3:30 p.m. UK time slot. So yeah, these are the 3 appearances that I have in the next 24 hours escape. With that, back to you, and thank you for having me again.
You're welcome as always, Chang. Jose, what's going on over at El Tel Cockerel?
Got a prediction show tomorrow because I run 3 competitions from my channel, all free of charge. Just got to be a subscriber in order to enter, but it's free of charge. So I'm doing that tomorrow, and on Sunday I've got the return of the people that have been ill. So the return of Queen Ellie. She will be coming back on Sunday to do her first show. She's been ill for a fair few months, so she's looking forward to letting her dulcet tones go out again to the public. And also Ash P, who's not been well either and has not been able to do any shows this year. She'll be back on Sunday as well. So on my channel, I've got Ash P and Ellie returning Sunday, and I'll be on again tomorrow.
Excellent. Make sure you go over, subscribe to Chang over at Spurs Diehards and over to Jose over at El Tel Cockerel. Chang, did you want to say something? Or are you just doing that?
Yeah, right. No, I was just wanting to add something for Jose, in which if either one of them, I know this is strange to say this when you have so many injuries, but if either one of them suddenly pulls out from the Sunday morning show with anything, you know where to look. You know where to look me up for Jose.
Here we go. Jimbo, do you want to say where we are, or do you want me to say where we are?
You can say where we are. I want to say we need this win. This 4-0 win, we need it. Get behind them. Let's get them on. Let's win this. Get everybody up. And the players need it. The fans need it. The whole club needs it. Come on, you Spurs.
Indeed. I am actually on the football terrace at 11 o'clock in the morning because they have a show normally at 6 and it's at 11 a.m. So I will, and then we'll be doing a show after that, probably about 12:30, I think, over at the Perfect Match. But you can catch us every lunchtime, and then probably for the pre-match pump up over here on Sunday. But listen, thank you to everyone for watching. Been a great turnout. Let's hope we get a win tonight. Massive extra thanks to Samuel Lynch, who's been a member for 3 months. DJ Samuel, who's been a member for 31 months. And Moondog with his super chat. Have a great rest of your evening. Enjoy the match. Cheer on the lads. And as always, come on, you Spurs.
Come on, you Spurs.